Every hospital has a floor they don't talk about. St. Margaret's was no exception. I was fresh out of nursing school when I took the night shift position. Desperate for work, grateful for the opportunity. When they told me I'd be assigned to the 7th floor, I didn't think much of it. I was too busy being thankful for the extra $1.50 per hour they paid for overnight work. The orientation was brief, too brief looking back. The nursing supervisor, an older woman with permanently furrowed brows, walked me through the basics. Patient rounds every hour, medication at designated times, call buttons to be answered promptly. And never, she said, her voice dropping, never enter room 738, not even if the call button lights up. Especially not then. I laughed nervously, waiting for her to explain the joke. She didn't laugh back. It's hospital policy, she said simply, and moved on to showing me the supply closet. My first few nights were uneventful. The 7th floor was primarily long-term care patients, coma cases, persistent vegetative states, and a few elderly patients waiting for hospice placement. Most nights, I'd make my rounds, administer medications, and spend the quiet hours catching up on charting. I tried asking the day shift nurses about room 738. They changed the subject. The doctors pretended not to hear the question. The janitorial staff crossed themselves and walked away. It was during my second week when I first heard it. 3:17 a.m. The call button for room 738 lit up the nurses' station with a soft, insistent ping. I remembered the warning, of course, but I was young, rational. Surely there was a logical explanation for the strange rule. A patient with a contagious disease, perhaps? Or maybe a VIP who valued privacy. The ping continued, once every 30 seconds, perfectly timed. I checked the patient roster. Room 738 was listed as unoccupied. I called security. There must be a malfunction, I said when the guard answered. His voice was tight. Don't go in there. I'll be up in a minute to reset the system. But curiosity is a powerful thing. And the pinging continued, drawing me down the hallway like a siren song. Before I knew it, I was standing outside room 738, my hand hovering over the door handle. The room shouldn't have been occupied, yet I could see a thin line of light beneath the door. I opened the door just a crack, just enough to peek inside. The room was empty. No patient, no visitor, just a standard hospital room with a perfectly made bed. The call button hung from its cord, swinging gently back and forth as if someone had just released it. I stepped inside, telling myself I just needed to check the equipment, find the malfunction, do my job. The door closed behind me with a soft click. The room was cold, much colder than the hallway had been. My breath fogged in front of my face as I moved toward the call button, still swinging like a pendulum. That's when I noticed the ceiling. Where there should have been acoustic tiles and fluorescent lights, there was something else. Something that shifted and moved like liquid but clung to the ceiling like it was solid, black as ink, with occasional ripples of dark purple and green. And it was watching me. I don't know how I knew it was watching. It had no eyes that I could see, but the certainty was overwhelming. This thing, whatever it was, had been waiting for someone to answer its call. A drop of the substance fell from the ceiling, then another, and another. They hit the floor with soft, wet sounds that reminded me of footsteps. I backed toward the door, fumbling for the handle behind me. My fingers closed around cold metal, but the door wouldn't budge. The droplets on the floor began to move, to coalesce, to form a shape that was almost human but wrong in ways my mind couldn't process. Night shift, it said, in a voice like wet leaves being crushed underfoot. Finally. What happened next is fragmented in my memory. The security guard breaking down the door, being pulled from the room, the ceiling returning to normal fluorescent panels as soon as others entered. They found me a position on the 3rd floor the next day, told me it was a promotion. The supervisor who'd warned me wouldn't meet my eyes. I left St. Margaret's a month later, found work at a clinic with regular hours and sunlight streaming through the windows. But sometimes, when I'm alone at night, my phone will ping with a notification, and for just a moment, I'll see a black droplet forming on my ceiling. They've renovated St. Margaret's since then, added a new wing. The floors don't match up with the old numbering system anymore, But if you find yourself working there, count the floors carefully. What they call the 6th floor now, it used to be the 7th. And room 738 is still there, just with a different number, still waiting for someone to answer its call.